We went deep into the history archives to uncover 8 facts you definitely did not know about Napoleon Bonaparte, the great emperor of France and military genius. There's so much more to this individual than meets the eye. Was he more of a lover than a fighter? What caused his military genius's decline? Was he really that short? If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on our weekly deep dives into history. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Napoleon. This enigmatic figure not only shaped France, but also left an indelible impact on the world. Fact number 1. Napoleon Bonaparte wasn't actually what the natives consider true French. He was born in Corsica in 1769, just 1 year after France acquired the island. Though Napoleon came to embody French nationalism and pride, he spent his formative years immersed in Corsican culture and spoke Corsican as his mother tongue. His birth name was originally Napoleon Bonaparte, and he only later Frenchified it to Napoleon Bonaparte. His family belonged to minor nobility, which gave him the opportunity to study at mainland French military schools. Interestingly, he wasn't always proud to be part of France. During his adolescence, he wrote a series of passionate essays supporting Corsican independence. However, as he matured, his loyalty shifted towards France, a country he would one day rule. Fact number 2. Napoleon was a military prodigy. He was accepted into France's military academy at Brion-le-Château when he was just 9 years old. Although often impoverished and isolated due to his Corsican background, Napoleon focused intensely on his studies, especially mathematics. This academic excellence paved the way for his entry into the prestigious École Militaire in Paris. He graduated at 16, and his first commission was as an artillery officer, a field where he had gained significant recognition. In the years that followed, he leveraged revolutionary fervor and military tactics to climb through the ranks, innovating with strategies such as levée en masse, or mass conscription, and the column attack, which focused on rapid offensive movements. These tactics disrupted traditional military strategies and contributed significantly to his many early successes, making him one of history's most studied military leaders. Fact number 3. The myth that Napoleon was short has been one of the most enduring but incorrect aspects of his legacy. He was actually about 5'7" in modern measurements, which was an average or even above average height for a Frenchman of his time. So how did this myth propagate? Well, it was a mix of British propaganda designed to belittle their adversary and measurement misunderstanding. Napoleon was recorded at 5 feet 2 inches, but this was in French feet, which are longer than British feet. Additionally, he was often seen with his imperial guard, who were required to be tall, making him look shorter in comparison. So, the notion of the Napoleon complex is quite unfounded, at least when it comes to the man himself. Fact number 4. In 1798, Napoleon led a campaign to Egypt that was both a military and scientific expedition. While the military objective was to disrupt British trade routes to India, Napoleon also saw this as a civilizing mission and took along the core of 167 scholars, scientists, and artists to study Egyptian civilization. Despite military failures, including a crushing naval defeat by the British, the campaign was a scholarly triumph. The scholars made significant contributions to the fields of Egyptology, biology, and Oriental studies. The most famous find was the Rosetta Stone, discovered by a French soldier. This artifact was key to deciphering Egyptian hieroglyphics and opened up a new world in the study of ancient civilizations. Fact number 5. Beyond the battlefield and politics, Napoleon was a passionate man who deeply loved his first wife, Josephine, was a widow 6 years Napoleon's senior when they met. Napoleon was so smitten that he proposed just days after meeting her. He even sent her fervent love letters when he was away on military campaigns. However, she couldn't provide him with an heir, which was a significant issue given the importance of succession. As a result, he reluctantly divorced her in 1810, but still declared that she would keep the title of Empress of the French. Their relationship has been immortalized through their love letters, giving us a glimpse into the romantic life of a military genius. Fact number 6. Napoleon's strategy to defeat Great Britain extended beyond military action. He also sought economic warfare. The continental system aimed to cripple Britain by banning European ports under French influence from trading with the British. While it had some adverse effects on the British economy, the policy was largely a failure. European countries resented this trade restriction and smuggling became rampant. The blockade also had unintended consequences like skyrocketing prices and social unrest across the European continent, including in France itself. It became an increasingly unpopular policy and was one of the several factors that contributed to his decline. Fact number 7. In 1814, after suffering a string of defeats, Napoleon was exiled to the island of Elba. Remarkably, he was given sovereignty over the island and even attempted reforms there. But Napoleon simply couldn't stay away from France. Just 10 months later, he escaped from Elba in a daring operation and returned to France, where he was actually greeted with enthusiasm. This began the 100 Days, a brief period of renewed power for Napoleon. However, this phase was short-lived. After his defeat at Waterloo, he was exiled again, this time to St. Helena, a remote island in the South Atlantic, where he would die 6 years later. Finally, fact number 8. The Battle of Waterloo was a climactic end to Napoleon's military career. Fought in June 1815 against the 7th Coalition, led by the British Duke of Wellington and the Prussian army, the battle could have swung in favor of Napoleon if not for a series of mishaps. The morning of the battle was unusually wet, forcing Napoleon to delay his initial attack, which gave the Prussian army time to join forces with the British. Despite initial successes, French forces were overwhelmed by the coalition armies. After the defeat, Napoleon abdicated and went into his final exile. It's pretty safe to say that Napoleon's life was anything but ordinary. From his early years in Corsica to his impact on today's world, the man is an enigma wrapped in a riddle. With the upcoming portrayal of this man's life on the big screens, you can now watch with a little more knowledge of the man behind the name, Napoleon Bonaparte. If you loved diving into these fascinating facts, please don't forget to hit that like button, share this video, and of course, subscribe for more fascinating histories. Until next time, keep questioning the past to understand the present. See you in the next rewind.